Archaeologists are like detectives, piecing together the mysteries of the past through the sites and artifacts they uncover. Every discovery provides valuable insights into the way our ancestors lived, loved, and died. But what happens when those discoveries reveal the darkest aspects of human nature? Get ready to confront the realities of death and the horrors of our past as we delve into the macabre world of archaeology. Watch out, the number 6 point, you'll be shocked. So without any further delay, let's get started. 1. Bog Bodies. Peat bogs in Europe are where the cadavers known as bog bodies have been stored for centuries. They stand out due to the peat's remarkable ability to preserve the body. Because of how well their skin, hair, and organs are preserved in peat bogs, many of the bog bodies on Earth look remarkably lifelike. The excellent preservation of several of the faces makes them both interesting and little unsettling. Denmark is the site of the oldest bog body, the 8,000-year-old Kolbjerg Man. The Tullen Man is a bog body that has attracted a lot of attention and study. He was found on his side in 1950 with a rope around his neck. His neck was broken, leading to experts to conclude that he was probably hung. Careful placement in the bog makes it possible that he was sacrificed instead of slain. The Tullen Man's countenance is so calm that he might as well be asleep. Poor man's bog body, Grobal. The Grobal Man, who lived between 400 and 200 BCE, doesn't have such a serene demeanor. Before being dumped into the swamp, his leg was fractured and his throat slashed. Both his face and physique appear restrained. He may have met the same fate as the others and been sacrificed, although it's unclear why these guys were singled out for execution. 2. Shackled corpses at a cemetery mass grave. At least 80 skeletons were found in 2016 in the Athens neighborhood of Palaiophaliro. It's unsettling to see all those skeletons. Many of them lie with their lips open, as if they were yelling in death while their hands are tied. Young males who seem to be in good health are represented by these remains. They may have been followers of Cylon, the aristocrat and Olympic champion who attempted to take over Athens in the 7th century BCE, according to archaeological evidence. The term Cylon affair was coined to describe the scandal. Cylon's loyalists sought sanctuary at the Temple of Athena and the Acropolis after their coup failed. The disciples were slain as soon as they left the temple, according to Thucydides. Archaeologists were able to determine that the graves occurred around the time of the coup based on pottery found at the site. However, the skeletons could have been the remains of slaves or criminals. However, experts contend that the dignified manner in which they were buried provides strong evidence to the contrary. Whoever these folks were, they were unquestionably the targets of a brutal mass murder. 3. Vampire graveyard in Poland. Numerous vampire burials, or those of people who were thought to be vampires and were buried in a way that would prevent them from rising from the dead, have been discovered by archaeologists in several Slavic countries over the past decade. Graves went unearthed in 2013 while building a road in Gliwice, Poland. The victims' heads were placed between their feet when they were buried. It was widely held that decapitation would prevent the dead from resurrecting. Other later discovered graves revealed alternative means of preventing the dead from returning. A woman's skeleton was found with a sickle placed over her pelvis at the time of her burial. Other bones were discovered with sickles placed over their necks, indicating that their heads would be severed if they returned from the grave. There were other instances of bodies being buried upside down or with a brick placed in their mouths. Seeing how roughly these people were laid to rest makes one uncomfortable. 4. Aztec skull rack and towers. It should not come as a surprise that several human skulls, along with other human remains, have been found in Aztec temples. The Aztecs were well known for their practice of human sacrifice. In the Aztec metropolis of Tenochtitlan, a massive tzompantli, also known as a skull rack, could be found outside of the Templo Mayor. The skulls were not only there for adornment, rather, their purpose was to serve as emblems of spirituality. In 2015, researchers found 2 towers that were located on either side of the skull wall. In addition, each tower was constructed entirely out of human skulls. The National Institute of Anthropology and History's archaeologists believe that the rack in the walls must hold thousands of skulls, which reveals the expansive nature of the human sacrifices that were going place. These skulls almost certainly belonged to those who had been sacrificed or to enemy fighters. Archaeologists have a theory that the skulls would have been transported to the towers as they began to rot while they were displayed on the rack. When the Spanish first arrived in the city, they were appalled by what they saw and wrote about the tzompantli. When one looks up at the enormous temple, one can only imagine how scary the skull rack and towers must have appeared to those who were there. 5. Neanderthal Cannibalism. Cannibalism among Neanderthals was confirmed by findings in a cave near Goyet, Belgium. There was evidence of butchering, marrow extraction, and tool-making of the bones unearthed in the cave. Cannibalism has also been found in other countries' Neanderthal sites. It's unknown, however, why some Neanderthal populations may have resorted to cannibalism, as such evidence is not found at every location. The 5 sets of human remains found in the Goyet cave belong to 4 adults and 1 kid. The other bones all came from slaughtered animals and had similar cuts. The reasons why some Neanderthal communities engage in cannibalism remain a mystery to experts. There is a possibility that malnutrition played a role. However, no evidence for this can be found at the Goyet site. A religious motivation for the practice has also been proposed. It's hard to say for sure, but we do know that our prehistoric forebears occasionally feasted on one another. 6. Screaming Mummy. In 1886, Gaston Maspero, the director of the Egyptian Antiquity Service, uncovered a mummy like no other. The body known as Man-E was shackled at both hands and feet, frozen in a scream that echoed through the ages. Experts speculate that he may have been poisoned or buried alive, suffering in an unimaginable fate that no human should ever endure. But what makes this discovery truly bone-chilling is the possibility of its identity. Maspero believed that Man-E was none other than Prince Pentaweri, son of Ramses III, who was complicit in the plot to kill his own father. Could this be the frozen face of a guilty prince, forever trapped in his own nightmare? The unconventional mummification of Man-E only adds to the mystery, with his internal organs still intact, defying the traditional methods of preserving the dead. As visitors from around the world gaze upon his frozen expression, one can't help but wonder, what horrors must he have witnessed in his final moments? The scream frozen on his face will haunt the dreams of all those who dare to peer into the eyes of the ancient dead. The mystery of Man-E remains unsolved, and his eerie presence serves as a haunting reminder of the evil that lurks in the shadows of our past. 7. The Mummy of Otzi, the Iceman. In 1991, German hikers came across Otzi the Iceman when the ice that had encased him began to melt. In the Ötztal Alps, near the Austro-Italian border, his body had lain frozen in the snow and ice for the past 5,300 years. His clothing and weapons were found next to his body. Otzi is a remarkable find because of how well his body, clothing, and weaponry were preserved. However, there are a few unsettling particulars, such as the body's frozen pose with the left rigid arm draped across the body. Otzi the Iceman is widely thought to have been a victim of murder. An accident or the cold had at first been suspected as causes of death by archaeologists. In 2001, an X-ray examination revealed that Otzi had an arrowhead lodged in his left shoulder, and researchers also located an entry wound on his back. Researchers into Otzi agree that this injury would have been fatal in short order. A serious head wound was also discovered. An altercation had occurred in the days leading up to his death, as evidenced by a wound on his hand. There is little probability that Otzi was murdered, albeit his exact circumstances of death are unknown. A number of people involved in the discovery of Otzi's body have claimed to have felt the effects of a supposed curse. And that's all for the video today. Do comment and tell us if you want to see more such videos. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.